Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be for you. And we are live over on Exponential Traction. Hello, everybody. My name is Mac Comandante. I'm an international trainer and coach. And today, you know what happens on Wednesdays, right? It is Relationship Wednesdays, and we have our resident relationships architect all the way from Melbourne, Australia. And let me be the first person to greet her a happy birthday in this channel. Hi, Annie. How are you? Happy birthday once again. Would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Hi everyone. This is Annie Callis here. Thank you so much for the well wishes. And I just want to actually say thank you to everybody. I woke up to like a tsunami of well wishes. I feel so loved at the moment and I'm on such a high. I can't stop smiling like my face is hurting. However, we are here today with the Wednesday, what would I call it? What would we call it? I can't come up with a word right now, but every Wednesday we talk about relationships. So this is so cool in the Exponential Traction group. And relationships, what's exponential traction? Well, that's not just here for business. It's also our relationships can grow exponentially and we can have a really good rhythm to keep growing that. So I'm a relationships architect and I work with couples. I help them stay together and I give people back to themselves or meet themselves at a deep level. So I love what I do. I love what I do. So today's subject is quite a powerful one.
Very nice. Okay, before we go to the subject, Annie, let's greet those people who are already here. Ladies and gentlemen, hi to Jaisal. Hi to you, everyone. If you are already watching us, regardless of the channel that you are in, this is being broadcasted in multiple channels. Just go ahead, type hi or hello. Let us know that you are there in the comments box. So, all right, you know what, Annie? I should be lowering down my expectations, right?
Yeah, but before we talk about expectations, I actually would like for you to introduce yourself and say what you do, because it's really important. You do very important work. So I'd like you to share that because you never know who's listening.
Thank you, Annie. Hello, everyone. Okay, taking the cue from Annie, my name is Mac Comandante, and over the past 5 years alone, I have coached and trained over 20,000 entrepreneurs from different parts of the world, helping them build confidence to grow their sales by 300% and help them build exponential growth. So if you're interested with any of that, go ahead, send me a DM. Okay, and make sure that you follow also Annie in her channel, okay? Good, there you go. Annie, let me repeat what I just said. I should be lowering down my expectations.
Yeah, you should. You should.
Oh.
You want the things that you want, they're too high. Who do
Now,
you
you know
think
what?
you are?
People should be lowering down expectations.
Yeah, well, who are you? Who are you to have these high expectations of yourself? Who do you think you are?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? Growing up, my dad, okay, true story, true story. My
Hmm.
dad told me that I should be number one in class. Okay?
Right,
Otherwise, he's not going to show up for my commencement exercises. That was his way of motivating me.
right,
Now, I was only number one once, so I only saw him once. You
right,
know what that created for me? I ended up, even in my adult life, trying to prove myself to a lot of people.
right.
And kind of felt like I'm always falling short with regard to their expectations. So you know what? Yeah, because it's that way, maybe I should just lower down my own.
Hmm.
Is that the way to live life?
Is it?
Is that gonna make me happier?
Will
You know,
it?
bending over backwards and beyond just so that, you know, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the standard, I think, that happens in this world. And we all try so hard to fulfill on everybody else's expectation, and we constantly let them down. And then we get punished in some shape or form. And then we try even harder to fulfill on their expectation. However, within ourselves, there is a defiance that's going on because we go, it's not right, but we still want to do it because, and this goes back to childhood, when we get the warm and fuzzy feelings from our parents, it feels
Mm,
really good. We ascend, we're really happy, and then we want more of that. So then when we don't fulfill on the expectations and then we do not get the warm and fuzzy, then we feel something's wrong with us, we are a bad girl, bad boy. I have to try harder, I have to try harder, I have to try harder. And it becomes a vicious merry-go-round that we live into our adult lives. And then as we get older, those feelings of something's not right are sitting there, but we still gravitate towards what we have practiced for decades to be accepted by people.
Okay.
So for those,
Hold on. Stop right
yeah,
there. Okay.
yes,
How many of you can relate to this? Everyone who's watching right now. Because that is exactly our topic for today. I should be lowering down my expectations so that I don't get disappointed, I don't feel offended, I don't get slighted. Okay.
well,
Type
and I
relate
don't.
box if you can relate.
Yeah, so I was
Okay.
actually going to
And
ask that. Yeah, go.
yeah. Yeah. So I was afraid. I was already seeing you on a state of flow, and I know, the way you're communicating this one, Annie. It feels so authentic, and this is something that I know that a lot of people can benefit from. Okay, good. Thank you, Jaisal. Jaisal is saying that she can relate. Okay, great. So we know that relationship, or rather expectations, are important in relationships, right, Annie? Okay, but at the same time, so how do we define that level and all of these things? I'm gonna give back the room to you. Okay, sorry to cut you there.
No, that's okay. Actually, I was going to ask that question. I was going to ask the question of people. So, by I was going to say by show of hands, but I can't see you guys. But write in the comments box below, say me if you have ever experienced that or you have seen that behavior happen out there. And I think anyone that says, "Nah, not me," oh, you're lying,
Hmm.
because this is a standard behavior and thing that happens in the world. And it's not like sometimes people mean it, but it's just innate, you know. So the whole idea here is to figure out, why do we react like that to it, and why do we do it,
Okay,
you
I'm
know.
gonna give a caveat for everybody here. Okay, people are
Yeah,
saying me. Hi to Tina Pakura. Okay, saying me Edna as well. Good, good. Okay, here's the caveat. Okay,
yeah,
I know that as we go deep into this, Annie, okay, team, everybody, here's what's gonna happen, okay? This conversation is for you. This is not so that you can think about your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and start to think, you see, I am right. No, that's not the point. Okay? But rather the conversation is for you. Would that be okay? Type okay in the chat box. Right? Okay, Annie. There you go. That's the caveat. And use this for you. Okay, this is a gift for you as we talk. This is Annie's birthday gift to everyone who's watching right now because it's her birthday. There you go. Go, Annie.
I always like giving gifts on my birthday, kind of thing. So today we're just gonna look at it from an aerial view, what expectation is. And I can tell you, when I work with my clients, and I notice, especially like I work with individuals and the word expectation comes up a lot, but it's very prevalent when I work with couples,
Hmm.
because I can sense and I can see the expectation that one has of another. Now, I can tell you, it doesn't just happen in intimate relationships, it happens in any family member relationships, with business relationships, because everybody has a different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
So what I always like, and what I do is I ask them, I say, okay, there's some expectation happening here. And I ask them, so please define expectation to me. So then they each tell me what expectation is. And I'm going to share something that some of my recent clients have said, and I just sat there going, wow, that was really interesting. And one person said, expectation. Okay. It's wanting something of someone or from someone else. And then the other person said, it's a set of standards and it honors our values and the code of honor between two people.
Very
So
nicely said.
very,
But I want to
so
ask the audience as well, Annie.
yeah.
Okay, what is an expectation for you? Go type your answers there in the comments box. Okay, and team, if you're finding this interesting, go ahead, tag your friends here in the comments box. Okay, if you're finding the topic interesting, click the share button right now. Share this in your own profiles. Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, and send us the love emoji, the heart emoji for Annie's birthday. Go ahead, click that right now.
But is anybody writing down what does expectation mean to them? Because this would be really awesome to see
Hmm.
people's representation or perception of the word expectation.
Good.
Right?
Edna is saying expectations is equivalent to ideals.
Okay, thank you, Edna. Okay, anyone else?
Not yet for now. So I'm waiting. Okay, go ahead, team. Type your answers there in the comments box.
Yep. So what
Distinctions
does
between
expectation?
yeah, what is an expectation for you?
Yep. So whoever's watching on my channel, guys, why don't you join us and tell us what does expectation mean to you? Because this is a very, very powerful word that if you actually truly understand it, your life will shift.
Yeah.
And I can
JL
say
is saying
that,
goals. Expectations equals goals.
okay, yep,
Set of standards according to Tina.
yes,
Yep.
okay. Well, I think we've got some really great definitions here now, and every single one of them is great because you're relating it from your wherever you are in life right now. So a lot of you, the statements, sort of the descriptions that you said, I can see it's quite relevant to your business.
Hmm.
When I read the definition, I can tell you I was completely stumped, and I just went, wow, no wonder. No wonder we look at this word as such a negative word. And then
Hmm.
when somebody says, lower your expectations, or where you should increase your expectations. I love when people say should, must, have to. I love it when people say that I should. But okay. Expectation
I love
is,
it.
you do, right? So here it goes, right? Take notes, people. Expectation is the thought or the feeling that something great is going to happen.
Oh my gosh. Expectation is the thought
Or feeling.
or feeling that something great is about to happen.
So, no wonder that with the definitions that we have and what we think an expectation is, we do not get what we want
Mm-hmm.
because we are not in the right space. We are not there thinking something great is going to happen. I expect my life to turn out great. I expect to fulfill my goals because that something great is going to happen. I expect to have the standards. So every single answer that every person has given was spot on. Just add this bit to it, and it changes the whole sentence. Because when you step into this is going to be great, you will do everything in your power to create it. So when somebody, so let's say Tina, I think Tina said about goals. So let's say Tina says, and I think she sells insurance, yes?
This is a different Tina. This is Tina Pakura.
And what does she do?
Tina, let us know what is it that you do. Type it there in the comments box. Okay, and thank you for typing this. Tina, are you also in the life insurance industry? Let us know. Just type it there in the comments box. This is for you.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody, whether you're a financial advisor, whether you're any type of salesperson, whatever business you're in, everybody has a goal that they want to reach because that goal is going to give them this is going to give you this much income, is going to give you maybe a reward, whatever it is. So when you look at the achievement of that goal, it feels good, right?
Right.
But what people don't look at, wow, and work it backwards, they going from the bottom where we at, oh my God, how I'm going to achieve that. Hang on, you need to live into how it feels. And you go, oh, this feels, because if you really visualize yourself in achieving, let's say that $20,000 month, and it feels really good and all that kind of stuff, then you go, okay, what do I have to do? Because you know your job. This is the thing. People do this. Everybody has a profession. Why? Because they know it. Like, I'm a relationships coach, right? I don't do heart surgery. I don't know it, but I know how to coach. So then my whole thing is, how many couples do I want to help? Or, how much income do I need for the lifestyle that I want to live? Now, what am I going to do backwards to do that? But I have an expectation to help that many couples. Because,
So, Annie,
yeah,
let me catch you there a bit, okay? Because
yeah,
something that I really like about what you said. Okay, team, everybody write this down in your notes. If the expectation is a thought or a feeling that something great is about to happen, wouldn't you do whatever it takes to get that? Okay. Now, what is it that I am trying to catch? It's about would you do whatever it takes to achieve that? It is you doing. That is what I'd like to catch. Is this
well,
making sense so far? Type MS if this makes sense.
absolutely. Good catch. We are fishing today. It's great. So, yeah, and on the back of that, so the expectation
Mm,
is of self, not another, because nobody else can fulfill on your dream.
mm,
Now, of course, you can ask others to help you, but you cannot expect another person to fulfill on your dream.
mm. So
And
how is it then, Annie, that that you mentioned one of the answers of your coachees, right? That they said that it's the expectation from others that other people are gonna be doing something for you. So what is happening there? Is there a mismatch between what an expectation should be to begin with, or because the tendency is that it's about coming from what other people should be doing? Okay, that's
well,
why I was laughing earlier when you said should be, what should be, and have been or could have, right?
it's a really great question, and I love how you pulling things out of this, because like I'm on my own trajectory what I want to say, but I love how you keep asking these questions. It has to do with programming.
Mm,
When
mm,
your whole life was full of expectations of you doing things, that is the perception. So therefore you live into that and you continue that and you expect things from people.
mm-hmm,
But if you decide to do work with somebody and somebody can explain this to you, right? And I tell you, everybody that I have worked with and I explained this to them, it just removed a weight, because they're
right.
going, oh, now with that comes responsibility, though, is that you believe something great is going to happen because it feels good and
Mm,
you actually know that you can achieve it. But then if you allow your gremlins or little voices to start taking you out and everybody else's little voices, then all of a sudden the vision is covered by smoke. So you
mm,
got to just say, okay, everybody go away, poof, go away. Because what I have felt and I have dreamt, I know I can achieve, and you have to go back to that. And this is where it's very important to do your daily rituals of
mm,
self-talk,
mm-hmm,
affirmations, visualization, connect to your goal, whatever that is, whether it's in business or whether it's in your personal life.
mm,
If you believe that you can have a great relationship, you will,
mm, mm,
because you will do whatever it takes. But you have to have an expectation of yourself. What is it that you want?
mm, mm,
So in a relationship, so if I can bring this back to relationships, because we kind of went off onto goals and all of that, right? Like more business. But if I bring it back to relationships, and this is where I speak from my experience, I expected my knight in shining armor to make my life a dream.
mm-hmm.
And the weight was on his shoulders for everything.
Does
And
it
because,
come with clouds and unicorns?
yeah, that too. Yeah, and the armor and the whole thing and the sword, right? And the whole thing is that I didn't know what I really wanted because I didn't know how to explain it,
Mm,
but I expected it. You should be like this, and you should know, and you should, and you should. And the more I was doing that, the more he was backing off. And to the point that he wouldn't say anything until it would blow, there would be an argument, and then I'd hear all this stuff. And,
Mm.
oh my God, right? So the whole thing is that when I took personal responsibility for my life, I started to look at what is it that I want in my life? What kind of relationship I want in my life?
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to look at doing the work necessary to figure out what is it that I want, because I didn't have clarity. So if I don't have clarity, how in the world am I going to ask somebody? Now, here's the kicker. What is expectation in a relationship? So what I would like is, for those that are watching, I'd like you to put in a comments box, what is so we had the definition of expectation, but what do you think is an expectation in a relationship? So I'll wait for a couple of seconds, I give you 30 seconds, put in a comments box, what do you think? There's a lot of people that are watching are possibly in relationships or have been in relationships. So I'd like to know what do people think that expectation in a relationship is?
So what is expectations in a relationship? What do you think? What definitions? What meaning? Jaisal is saying peace and harmony.
Thank you.
Good. Anyone else? Go ahead. Type your answers there in the chat box, team.
So I'm going to ask Jason.
Jaisal.
Or Jaisal. Sorry, I thought it was Jason. So Jaisal, what is your part in creating the peace and harmony? Right? And what does peace and harmony really mean? So unless you connect to the feeling and this is what it looks like for me, how do you know? Everybody uses a lot of words. We all want peace and harmony in our relationships.
Right.
But here's some news to everybody. If you have peace and harmony in relationship 24/7, you're going to be very bored.
Edna is saying, expectation in a relationship for me is getting the same support, love, and respect. Jaisal answered you as well. For Jaisal, it's being more understanding and there's no judgment. That's her contribution to peace and harmony.
Fantastic. So then I'll take it another step further. Are you non-judgmental 100% of the time towards the person that you want to have peace and harmony with? So if your answer is yes, well, I'm not sure if that is 100% correct, because there's no such thing as absolute. And judgment is a healthy and natural feeling that we have and what we do. But we can catch ourselves, oh, I'm judging. Why am I judging? What's coming up for me? And then you go, am I judging the other person because they're not doing it the way I think they should do it, or they're not being what I think they should be?
What do you mean, Annie? Isn't it that other people should be able to read my mind in the exact words and arrangement of the words, exact tense, exact tonality, volume, and intonation? Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
So you just defined expectation in a relationship.
Shouldn't that be the case?
No.
You should hear my mind right now.
Absolutely. So like you do read my mind sometimes. So we need to discuss that. There's something, about you. But the thing is, expectation in a relationship is the idea that the other person knows what you want. So we expect them and the girls are going to laugh. There's a lot of girls that are going to, I've done this before with women. And I said, how many of you have said, he should know, right? I used to say that. And I used to say to him, I've told you once, you should know this. And he would look at me like, what? So if I want something, I need to make sure I know why and what I want and know that I've done it. And then I can go and say, this would make me happy.
And nice saying, I used to say that as well. You know what is happening there, Annie? We just forgot to turn on the subtitle. That's why.
What subtitle?
Subtitle in terms of what you're thinking, so that there should be a subtitle so that we should know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But this is so anybody who's watching this and you go, oh my God, hey, it's absolutely nothing wrong with what you've done before. The reason we're doing these calls is to bring you people some different mindset, different ideas. If you don't agree with them, that is okay.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
the truth,
because
Danny, is that it's not only for women, also men have that, right?
everyone, everyone, and you know the definitions that I said before,
Mm.
he was the one who said expect the other person,
Ah,
right?
interesting.
It wasn't she, it was he. So I just having a laugh here because I know I used to say this. I haven't
Mm.
really heard men say, well, you should know. I heard more women say that, well, he should know. But that's maybe because I hang out with women and that's the conversation we're having over a coffee, right?
Mm.
Well, he should know that. And how
No, no,
should
it's,
he
it's
know
not
that?
something like this. I deserve better than this. I
Oh,
should be
that's it.
treated differently. There.
Yeah, I should be treated differently. Okay. So so that opens another can of worms.
Yeah.
If you believe that you should be treated differently, then you need to figure out what is it that's going against your values,
Mm.
something that is being triggered for you, and how are you going to ask for how you would like to be treated, right? So I when I realized that, I would say the way you talk to me is actually really affecting me. And is there a reason why you use that tonality with me? But before I could say that, I had to really connect to me and be stand in my own power to just go, okay, I know what my values are. I know how I talk to somebody. So that's my expectation that you talk to me the way I talk to you. So Edna said that in her words,
Mm.
is the same standards. So we want, but we have to be it ourselves. We cannot expect it from another, but we don't do it. So
Mm.
this is like people are a mirror to ourselves. Their behavior that we don't like, where in our life have we done that? And
Mm.
when we own up, okay, I have done that. I've done that. I'm ashamed of it. And I have forgiven myself for it, move on.
Mm.
And then I'm happy to go up and tell somebody, listen, I realized I didn't speak to you in a really great manner. And I would like to apologize for that.
Mhm.
And they could say, thank you, apology accepted. Or, well, what do you want me to do with that? And it's like, well, that's on you now. Because my freedom is from my own guilt, my own shame, my own whatever the emotion is at the time. We
Mm.
cannot own somebody else's behavior or feeling whatever else. But expectation is actually very healthy to have, but
Mm.
as long as you do it. So
Mhm.
when people say you shouldn't expect anything,
Mm.
like I'll tell you a story. It happened about 15 years ago. I was on a trip with this other company that I used to work with, and I remember giving somebody a birthday gift, and they didn't say thank you. They did nothing, and it really bugged me. I couldn't figure out why. Like I know now, but I didn't know then. And I was sharing it with one of the girls, and she looked at me. She said, you shouldn't expect anything in return. And I felt so small and so terrible and da 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 da. I didn't figure it out until later. An acknowledgement costs nothing. When a
Mm.
person buys a gift, it means that they think of you and they want to, in their world, it's joy. It brings them joy to give you something. Hey, I thought of you. You matter. You're significant in my life. I saw this thing, reminded me of you, and I
Mm.
give it to you. So let me show you something. Okay. So I've got a very funky glass here, right? So I drink water out of it. Can you see how cute it is? Right? Now, one of my girlfriends, so that's me and that's her. She's blonde and I'm, well, that's red, but brunette, right? So she thought of me and she gave me this glass. Every time I drink out of it, I think of her. I think of the moment when she gave it to me, and that moment brings me joy. So what would have been like if I would have said to her, what'd you get me that for? Or not even say anything, or just say, okay. That would have been like, where's the acknowledgement? Now I acknowledge people. So in return, I want the same behavior. It's not about lowering my expectation. Is I have the same expectation of what I give. And that's healthy, right? So if anybody ever tells you lower your expectations, ask how so.
My line around that, Annie, can I add?
Yes.
Okay. My line around that would be, do not lower your expectations just so that other people can feel good about themselves.
Amen to that.
Especially when it's coming from their own psychosis, the psychological process.
Yeah.
Right? The criticisms, the cynicisms, the should be's, could be's, and so on.
Yeah.
Just because they're falling short on their own expectations of themselves.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, when somebody tells you lower your expectations, there's a reason why they say that. And the whole thing there is to say, thank you for sharing. Tell me more about that. That's it. Because clearly they have, oh, I have to share with you, it's raining outside and it's actually a golden shower. It's literally like gold is falling out of the sky. My birthday is amazing. So I had a gold shower, got sunshine, amazing. So the whole thing is to find out what is it that they're saying. What is it that's bugging them about what you just shared with them? What is it affecting their life? Simple. That's it. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's true. And I wanna transition a bit, Annie, in terms of, so if that is the case, then how can we avoid it, or how can we mitigate the negative impact to expectations not being met, okay, and the negative emotions that it brings, okay? How can we avert that?
You need to give me a little bit more because this is quite broad. Just give me, because you have a train of thought. Just give me a little bit more, if you don't mind.
Right. Okay. So, in yesterday I was doing team coaching. Okay.
Yeah.
And part of what we were doing was to actually establish the code of honor for the team. Okay. So we started to talk about, okay, what do you guys don't like? So they started listing it down in the flip chart and so on. Okay. Then when everybody sat down, I asked them, how many of you noticed that what you write is also because you were guilty of it? And everyone went silent, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So
Yes.
if that is the case, then how can we handle it? So we were setting up the code of honor, right? And
Yeah.
what I noticed is that it's because sometimes there's even no code, there's no agreement as to how things should be handled, how behaviors should be, especially if there is an agreement or when you break the agreement.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the line of thought.
Yeah.
And it applies to relationships.
Yeah. So in a team environment, what is all that about? Relationships. And if we look at a work environment, is everybody's blaming everybody else for the result not turning up the way they want to. Well, what's your part in the failure of that? And but I mean, this comes with great leadership, where a leader goes, okay, guys, this is not about me blaming you. It's we work together for a common good. That didn't happen. So we all need to look at what did we do and what we didn't do. So then next time, because there's going to be a next time, then we can fix it. How many of you would like that to? And when people are engaged and empowered and as a leader, you own up and say, hey, it's not just you, it's me too. I took my eye off something. I didn't guide with something. I maybe didn't teach you something. So this is not about, the result, it didn't happen. So it is a mistake. It is a failure. But what can we learn from this? So next time we come together as a strong force. Who's in? Now, I guarantee people would go, you talk to them like that. Okay, guys, who's in? Let's go, let's do it. They're going to go, yeah, not me. I doubt it. Because all of a sudden you inspire them to be better. And when you're better,
what I like about what
go on.
what I like about what you're saying is that there's so much ownership and accountability to it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And and I'd like to put that out there because a lot of leaders, and again, also in the context of relationships, right? There is no ownership. Everything is just getting deflected. Sometimes you would see people just throwing mud at each other. You know what? You did this to me as well. Okay, remember the time and so on. And everyone becomes a historian. Okay. They have a backpack of history.
That's right. And I can tell you, I was a great historian because when I start the argument about one thing, 5 hours later, 15 years ago, you did this. And then I look at him, what do you got to say? He goes, I don't know, because I don't know which one to address. And I forgot what we started to talk about. Oh, you weren't listening. You never listened to me. Yeah, I do. I hear you. No, you're not listening to me. Half, right? So I've done it. I've been there. I've done that. And I understand it. But at some point that, as you said, ownership and responsibility is what we need to do. We need to just go, hang on a minute. This is a repeated behavior. I am one of the players in this whole situation. Hang on, what's my part in it? But I think a lot of people don't realize that when you own up, it doesn't make you less than, it makes you more than. Because that ownership, that's courage, it's vulnerability, it's transparency, it's authenticity, it's all of this. So how many of you want to be, have the courage to be vulnerable and be transparent? And when you're authentic, guess what? People will sign on a dotted line because you cannot unfeel the authenticity of somebody. You cannot unfeel the tonality or I'm here for you. It's not a bullying system of, I want you to agree with me. It's I really believe in this thing and I want the best for you.
Good. So team, I want to check in on you. Is this valuable so far? Is this helpful? Just type helpful there in the comments box. Okay, and I wanna ask everyone a question as well. How many of you realize that a lot of women, sometimes men, play small just so that they tend to lower down their expectations? And what happens is that now eats up to your own self-confidence, self-worth, your self-concept diminishes. Type agree if you agree with me. Okay, I want to know, type that in the comments box. Okay. So Annie and I are working on a course. I want to ask you, okay, everyone who's watching right now, would it be helpful if we go deeper into this topic so that we can help women be able to stand in confidence in their own power? Just type yes in the comments box. Send us a message if that would be helpful for you. Okay, we want to know. So there you go. Good, good. Edna is saying it's helpful. Okay, she also agrees. Great, great. Well done, team. Thank you, thank you. Good work. Again, tag your friends here so that they'd be able to benefit from this. Okay.
Thank you. And I think if this was really beneficial to those that are watching, is share this video with other people and actually don't just click share and then it goes, because people don't know why you shared it. I mean, they might go, oh, look, you probably like this, but this is a 1 hour session. And there's a lot of, I mean, I people pay for this information when I work with them, right? So you're getting it here. Share with people, why are you sharing this video? Tell them this is something, it talks about this, it talks about that, and this is what I got out of it. So, and it's not just this video, in anything that you share on social media, when you click that share button, write a couple of words so people know why you're sharing it, and more likely they will watch it. So your intention to share is because there's something in here that resonates with you, but your friends don't know why you're sharing. So it's important, whether it's a quote, a video, or whatever it is. So a lot of people just share and then it's like, yeah.
Mm,
Just
mm.
even if you say, I love this, or I got something out of this, or this is gold, or whatever, just so people go, okay. Because when you take the time to actually write some words, it means that this was meaningful to you. So your intention to make a difference to somebody else and pay it forward has happened because you said something. So this is something I learned, and it really works. Yeah.
Nice, nice,
But
nice. Very nice.
thank you in advance if you're going to do that.
So, Annie, what is one tip then that people can take away with this? Something simple that they can bring with them.
My tip is that, well, if you watch this,
Hmm.
then you kind of know what the definition is. And I think it'd be great that when you get triggered and you have that feeling, well, that person should have known, or why didn't they do that? Whatever comes up, and you realize this is an expectation, is to actually look at, so what is it that I wanted? What
Hmm.
was my thought or my feeling that something good was going to happen? What was going to happen? And what's my part in this? And what is their part in that? And have you guys actually had an agreement about how this is going to turn out? Because if you have no agreement, as you were saying about the code of honor, if you have no agreement, then everybody just does what they do based on what they know. So
Hmm.
they don't mean it to not deliver. It's just so happens. So you're always taking responsibility with yourself first. And this was my biggest lesson. And I can tell you, it made my life 80% easier.
Hmm.
When I took responsibility, well, actually, I could pretty much easily say 100% easier, not 80, 100. But I always leave room for movement because I'm at peace. And I go, was there something that I should have done? And when I get that ping of guilt, I go, oh yeah, I should have done that. Okay, I cannot blame them 100% for the result not being what I expected it to be, right?
Beautiful.
So ownership, responsibility is powerful and very freeing.
Very nice. I love that. So team, obviously if you love what you're hearing right now, Annie has devoted her life to study this at a much deeper level. If there is one person who can help you out with this, it's Annie. So go ahead, send her a message, okay, in her social media. Let us know how we can help you. Okay, so you know how to reach Annie. Okay, go ahead, send her a note. All right. So as we're reaching the top of the hour, I'd also like to give my final thoughts around this one, Annie. Okay, good. Thank you. Team, again, nobody is a mind reader. Okay, these are my final thoughts for you. Nobody is a mind reader. And the challenge is that we set expectations in the context of making thinking that other people truly understands what is it that we think, what is it that we're feeling at that moment. That's not really 100% possible, right? So that is why it is very important to over communicate. Okay? And and we're what we're actually touching on would be on the maturity on the ego. And when I say maturity of the ego, it's because a lot of people play the ego game. Okay? And you know what's interesting, Annie? If you actually Google the definition of game, one of the definition is that it is about being manipulative. Okay? Because the reason why people play their game is because they want something, right? So this circles back to the want. What is it exactly that you want? But for the longest time, based on programming, based on our experiences, for example, if while as a child, throwing a tantrum would get you what you want, then sometimes, if the ego remains at that stage of development, then you would now start to see children with adult bodies throwing a tantrum. Is this making sense? So that is why, team, we wish the best for all of you, but all of this points out really to self development, where the expectation starts with the self. We expect others to do something for us. And I like the definition of expectation, that it is the feeling or the thought that something great is about to happen. And the next question is, if that is the case, then wouldn't you do whatever it takes to achieve that? If that does not happen, the next question would be, what is your contribution to the result? Either way, it points back to you. So if you want to create something bigger, better for yourselves, better income, better business, better relationships, it cannot be achieved if we don't grow you. So that's it for me. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today on Relationship Wednesdays on Exponential Traction. We hope that we were able to add value to your mornings and afternoons or evening, wherever you may be right now. Remember to join us in the Exponential Traction Club. Okay, it's a Telegram group. You will find that in the description in the post. All you have to do is click that. Annie and I are there. Cameron is also there. Cameron is our resident organic marketing expert. You also find Jerica there as well as JL De Castro. Okay, well done. And many more. Okay, so go ahead, click the link. It is there in the description button. Thank you so much. And Annie, happy birthday once again. I hope
You.
you have a great day. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's it for today. Bye
Thank
bye
you.
for
Take
now.
care. See you, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
See you on Friday.
Well, I'm coming Friday, but for the other people, if they want relationship stuff, it's Wednesday.
Wednesdays is relationship, Fridays is marketing.